Hey there, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got something exciting to uncover for you. Have you ever wondered how the tax assessor determines property taxes? Well, today is the day you'll discover behind the scenes secrets of tax assessments in LA County real estate. We'll break down the process and show you how it impacts your wallet. But before we dive in, do yourself a favor, hit the subscribe button and join our community for expert advice and insider knowledge. Now, who's the tax assessor? Well, from Claremont to Calabasas, Long Beach to Lancaster, the assessor's office has been proud to serve the county of Los Angeles since 1850. By population, LA County is the largest in the state of California and is larger than 42 other states. The current LA County tax assessor is Jeff Prang, and Mr. Prang was elected in 2014 as the 27th assessor for the county of LA, and he was further reelected in 2018 and in 2022. Upon taking office, Mr. Prang implemented sweeping reforms to ensure the strictest ethical guidelines rooted in fairness, accuracy, and integrity would be adhered to in his office. Assessor Prang is a State Board of Equalization licensed appraiser and administers the largest office of its kind in the nation, with 1,400 employees that provide the foundation for the property tax system, which generates $24 billion annually. How's that for responsibility? Now, the tax assessor plays a pivotal role in determining your annual property taxes. They're kind of like the detectives of the real estate world, evaluating your property value. And the higher the value, the more you're going to pay. Pretty simple, right? Well, sort of. Here's a synopsis of how the assessment process works. The register recorder will provide the assessor with copies of deeds and other recorded documents, and at the same time, cities will provide the assessor with copies of building permits issued by the local municipalities. The assessor then uses those documents to determine the property's value. Typically, the assessed value of real property is determined by the assessor's office at the time you purchase the property, and they usually use the sales price. The assessed value will become the base year value, which determines a property owner's tax bill. There's an inflation factor of no more than 2% that's added to your bill every year. And in addition, Prop 13 sets your property tax rate at a uniform 1% plus the rate necessary to fund local voter-approved bonds. In LA County, the assessor's office is responsible for assessing $1.99 trillion of real estate, and the assessor evaluates over 2.3 million parcels of real estate. Once the assessor has completed their work, the information is provided to the auditor controller, who applies the appropriate tax rate to determine the actual amount of property taxes owed based on the assessments. And from there, the assessments go to the treasurer and tax collector, who mails the property tax bills, collects the payments, and deposits the funds in the county treasury. Then all of this work is reviewed by the auditor controller, who allocates the money to over 900 local tax agencies, including the county, cities, school districts, and special districts. So now that you have an overview of how all this works, let's get back to focusing on the assessor's role. So getting into the nitty-gritty of the assessor's process, remember, I mentioned that they provide that the register recorder and the cities provide the county with the documents needed for them to go ahead and determine your value. The assessor uses those documents, and in addition, the assessor will also use a combination of factors such as your property size, location, improvements, and other recent sales in the area to estimate your property value. It's kind of like putting together a puzzle, and we'll show you just how it's done. The assessor's office has districts which handle appraisal reports for properties throughout the county of LA. And remember, I said that the assessment is typically based on the sale price. Well, sometimes the sale price is so favorable to the buyer, the assessor's office will adjust the value to match the market rather than the favorable price you receive. Or in other circumstances, there will be a change in circumstances that can impact your assessment. So what happens? Well, like I said, the assessor's office will compare your property to similar properties in the area and determine what a fair market value may be. In the case of a purchase, The team of trained individuals will be able to determine if you underpaid and should be reassessed, or if you overpaid and, like everyone else, they'll gladly collect the extra. But when it comes to a change of circumstances, the assessor's office has a set of strict guidelines to follow that determine if you receive a reassessment of your property taxes. Now, what's that mean on your wallet? Well, let me answer that for you with a little bit of a history lesson. So, California voters passed Prop 13 in 1978 in order to place limitation on property assessment increases and property tax rates. Prop 13 provides the foundation for how your property tax bill is determined when you purchase real estate. And under Prop 13, when a property is initially acquired by a new owner, the assessor's office reassesses the property and establishes its new base year, the value upon which future property taxes for the property will be based. Each year, an annual inflation factor, which may not exceed 2%, is applied to the property's base year value. This is known as the trended base year value. And this means that while the property's assessed value will increase year after year, property owners should be able to reliably estimate what their taxes will be in the future. Now, the assessor's office is required to reassess in three main sets of circumstances. One is the change of ownership. Most of us think change of ownership only occurs when a property is sold, but that's not accurate. Although certain transfers qualify for a change in ownership exclusion and do not require reassessment of the property, other transfers may not. So, for example, a transfer between certain family members, like a parent to child or parent to spouse, are generally not considered reassessable changes in ownership. However, transfers between other family members may trigger a new reassessment. Now, the other point number 2 is new construction. The assessor is required to conduct a reassessment when new construction takes place on your property. For example, when you add square footage to an existing residential structure, you'll trigger a partial reassessment of your property. And please note, upon completion of the new construction, the entire property will not be reassessed. It's only the newly constructed portion of the property that's assessed, and its value will be added to the property's existing trended base year. The other thing is value restoration. Sometimes economic conditions cause your property to lose value, and in those cases, Prop 8 will allow the assessor's office to temporarily reduce your property value and provide tax relief until the market recovers. When your property's base year value is restored, your bill may see a larger than normal increase, but the restored value will not exceed the original base year value plus the required inflation adjustment. So that's been a little bit of your expert advice. You've gotten a world of the tax assessment in real estate, but this is just the tip of the iceberg. And for in-depth insights and to stay updated on all things real estate, hit the subscribe button right now. Join our community and let's navigate the real estate world together. Until next time, thanks for watching.